So let me ask a question. I want to be asking all the questions, man. I want to get into a fun question too. So this is gonna be a question that's gonna be left field, guys. I'm sorry. I like to just throw a wrench in the machinery, you know. So if you guys won the lottery, let's say you won $1 billion, just a random number. What would your today look like in 4 years? And would you still keep working at your current job, or would you pursue other things? And then another follow up is there a job that if you were dead broke, this lottery never happened, is there a job that you would just not do no matter what they pay you? Like they could be paying you $1 billion, you still wouldn't do it.
I believe the guest should always go first.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. If I won $1 billion, 5 years from now, or 4 years from now, you said?
Yeah.
Well, my Sundays after being a billionaire, I would like to really be, out on the water somewhere, on a nice little boat. I was telling my wife this yesterday, actually. Like, when I get decent money, my go-to outfit is gonna be a nice polo shirt from Polo Ralph Lauren, some really short shorts. I'm gonna be wearing these Lacoste slides, like, $100 Lacoste slides, and I'm just gonna be on my boat, some nice shades, like chilling, man, like sipping wine on a Sunday, because I think that I've always been somebody who likes leisure time, and I'm probably just really lazy. But I really like leisure time. Like, I used to really love, all the hype, like the hardcore drinking at parties and what's not. Part of me still likes that, but like I feel like if I had everything that I needed monetarily, then I would be after some good liming, just sit back and relax type lines. So that would really be my thing. If there was a job that I would not do, this is cool actually. There's actually two jobs that I definitely would not do, regardless of how much money it is. My parents' jobs, actually. So I never told you guys this, but my father, he's actually an Anglican priest, Christian priest. And, like growing up around that, never wanted to tell people that because they treat you like trash just because of the choices that, this man has made, And I mean, I'm a Christian personally, it's one of my big convictions. Definitely not one of those Christians against dinosaurs, ridiculous. A lot of foolish things happen in the Christian community. Let me just acknowledge that right now. But, I like Christianity, but I would never be a priest. I would never be a pastor. I would never try to start my own church. And if somebody had all that going already and they were like, dude, you'll be perfect, I'll be like, nah, not me, And my mother is a teacher, I mean, I don't know anything about teaching. I've done teaching before at the university level. Like sometimes I did tutoring, sometimes I really enjoyed it. Sometimes I felt like, like this is the worst possible profession I could ever do. And so if somebody was like, we need a high school teacher, we're going to pay you $1 billion, I'd probably be like, I'm just the wrong person for the job. I mean, if it was like a university level position, I'd probably like, I would consider it, I would consider that. But I don't like teaching, anything underneath of freshman university is a no. Definitely not gonna do that.
That's interesting because you do so well at like explaining like forensic science and stuff. And well, teaching is a different beast because you have to do a lot more than just talking. You have to make a lesson plan and all these things. My mom's a teacher, so I know a little bit. Yeah, so I understand. I don't like teaching either.
Teaching is a 24/7 job.
Definitely.
I don't know if you could ever pay teachers enough because we need teachers at every single level. But I feel like the younger you go, like the more teachers have to deal with. Like, how do you relate to if you are a millennial, it's already so hard to relate to somebody who's Gen Z, And I'm thinking about those Generation Alpha children that I have as well. because I have two toddlers. I don't know if in 10 years, I'm going to be able to get them to settle down and pay attention to what I'm saying. As a parent, imagine as a teacher.
Yeah.
It's not, I would never try.
That's an interesting thing that you brought up, because in my mind, I created a graph where you have, time, and then on the other side of the graph, you have what was the other thing? Basically, what you said, in like the age difference between who's teaching who is a lot harder as you go further into the future, because the older people, they can't deal with the younger people because it's a different time. There's different discipline, different ways to talk. You have to take into account all the mental health issues. It's a lot different from what it used to be. So I appreciate you brought that up. Now for me, $1 billion. What would today look like? I have to agree with our guest. Like, I would not be in a confined space unless we're doing the podcast, because I would still do that even if I had $1 billion. But would I still work at my current job? No, I don't even think I would work. Period. I already talked to my wife about having a lot of money. We getting a nanny and a living maid, and she's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, I'm paying for it, so it's going to happen." So they're gonna have their own guest house, just like Jeffrey in Fresh Prince. And a job that I would not do. I still feel like I would not do retail or do food, no matter how much I was paid. It's just not for me. Like, I just can't.
Yeah, retail. I worked in customer service. I used to work at Subway while I was in grad school, and I would tell you, it's like nowadays, whenever I interact with somebody who work in customer service, I'm always extra nice to them because I know that what they've been through that day. They probably had a customer previously who just unrealistically expect them to do magic, or cussing them out as if they have control over the situation. They literally have no control. They're just doing what they're told. Granted, on the other side of things, some people take their job a little too seriously. Like, yo, you ain't making this money for yourself, so why you stinging on the like pack of like ketchup? Like, it's really not that expensive for this company to buy some more ketchup. You can give me some extra ketchup. So there's a little give and take there, but I try my best to be extra nice and understanding because I've been in their shoes before. So yeah, it's a hard thing to work in. Now for me, if I had $1 billion, I would do a mix of both of y'all because I think I would want to spend more quality time and with family. I think if you have more time, you want to fill that time with family and relationships and community. Um, and I think I would want to do what Wanted did, where I would want to invest in stuff in a way that I could live off the dividends, so I wouldn't have to work. But I think I would still want to work. But I think the difference would be I would work on things that I'm actually interested in. Like for instance, I want to write a book. I would have more time to do that. I want to do the podcasting. I would have more time to actually contribute and edit videos and stuff like that. So I think what the $1 billion will do for me is free up my time. I won't have to grind as hard to do like working on 9 to 5. I could spend that time doing other things. And I think one job I would never do is work in waste management. You can't pay me enough to be in a sewer or wading through poop or not. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I have to do that right now, actually, for the most part, because public works and public infrastructure are connected now. So we're like sister departments. So on Friday night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I had to go deal with a sewer line that was backed up. So we had to get that sewer line to go from one manhole to the other manhole. I mean, since I'm not necessarily in utilities, I didn't want to directly work with it, but I helped the best I can to get the pipes going. But yeah, I fear that there's gonna be a day where I'm gonna have to be like, they'll be like, yep, you have to get in the hole to help, and I'll be like, oh man, I am done after this. Like, I'm going home.
I'd have been like, nope, fire me now because I ain't going in.
And those things sound really appealing to me. I mean, maybe from my crime scene life, because like crime scene, dirtiest job you could ever think of. But I mean, I enjoyed working crime scenes. I'm telling you, I mean, it's really exhilarating. And I think waste management would be really cool. Definitely even working at, a plant. like looking at tons of shit flow by. You know, I feel like I could spend my time doing that. You know, and I could definitely walk in it because I've walked in everything at this point. So, so yeah,
That boy said
I would do
tons of
that job. I've done it, man. It's been done. You know, like
Man.